Humboldt Ridge doesn't appear on most maps. It's a stretch of high desert and pine forest in northeastern California, where the mountains flatten into long, dry valleys and the wind never fully stops moving. There's a two-lane highway that cuts through it, State Route 139, and if you drive it at night, you can go 40 minutes without seeing another set of headlights. The town nearest the ridge is Cedar Flat. Population 312. Most people who live there are either ranchers, retired mill workers, or people who came for the quiet and stayed because leaving costs money. Cell service is unreliable. Power goes out every winter. Everyone knows everyone else, at least by sight. I moved there in 2016. I wasn't running from anything. I had taken a contract job maintaining weather instrumentation for a private environmental firm. Air quality monitors, wind sensors, precipitation gauges. The pay was decent. The work was solitary. That appealed to me. My routine was simple. Wake up before sunrise. Check the overnight data logs. Drive out to whichever station needed calibration. Replace batteries. Clean lenses. Log anomalies. Drive home. The first thing I noticed was the silence. Not the peaceful kind. The kind that feels like pressure. The forest around Humboldt Ridge isn't dead. There are birds, insects, coyotes, but there are long stretches, sometimes minutes, where everything stops at once. No wind in the needles, no distant calls, no movement. Locals didn't talk about it. If you asked, they'd shrug and say, "That's just how it is up there." My house sat at the edge of town, facing the ridge. From my porch, I could see the fire lookout tower on the highest point. Abandoned since the late 90s. No lights, no maintenance. At night, the ridge was darker than the sky above it. That was the first thing that felt wrong. The first anomaly appeared in the data logs. Station HR-07 recorded a pressure drop at 2:14 a.m. A sudden, localized change. Not associated with weather patterns. No storm systems. No temperature shift. I flagged it as a sensor error. Then it happened again. Same station. Same time window. 2 nights later. When I drove out to inspect the unit, everything looked normal. No damage. No interference. Batteries were full. Calibration was correct. But the surrounding ground felt different. Harder. Like it had been compacted under extreme weight. I remember kneeling to check the mount and noticing the smell. Not rot, not fuel, something metallic. Cold. That night, the town lost power for 11 minutes. No storms, no wind. When the lights came back on, every digital clock read 2:14. People joked about it the next morning at the general store. Nuclear test, someone laughed. Another said, probably the military. Cedar Flat sat just far enough from any known base to make explanations convenient. The second anomaly wasn't in the data. It was the animals. A rancher named Paul Kramer found 3 of his cattle standing motionless in the middle of his field at dawn. Alive, eyes open, breathing shallow. They didn't respond to touch, didn't blink. By noon, they were dead. No marks, no blood, no signs of struggle. The vet couldn't explain it. A week later, the coyotes stopped howling. Then the birds. The forest grew quiet in a way that felt intentional. The lights came next. Not in the sky at first. On the ridge. Small, dim points, like distant lanterns, appearing between the trees. Always stationary. Always silent. They would remain for minutes, sometimes hours, then vanish without fading. I wasn't the only one who saw them. A schoolteacher, a truck driver, 2 teenagers parked off the highway. Everyone described them differently. Blue, white, pale orange. But everyone agreed on one thing. They didn't move like aircraft. They didn't blink like towers. And they didn't belong there. Then the radios began to fail. Police scanners filled with static during specific hours. Weather band frequencies dropped out entirely. Car radios would cut mid-song, replaced by a low, pulsing hum. Not loud, just present. When it happened, people felt pressure in their ears, a tightening behind the eyes, mild nausea. The power outages became more frequent, always between 2 o'clock and 2:20 a.m. One night, driving back from a maintenance check, my headlights flickered and died. The engine stalled. The silence hit immediately. No insects, no wind. I stepped out of the vehicle. The air felt thick, dense, like breathing through fabric. That's when I realized I couldn't hear my own footsteps. I don't know how long I stood there before the lights came back. The dashboard clock read 2:14. Again. The call came from the county office at 1:30 a.m. They wanted a manual check on HR 07. They said the data stream had gone completely dark. I remember hesitating. The road up to the ridge was narrow, unlit, and unmaintained. But it was my job. Halfway up, the radio cut out. The hum replaced it. My headlights illuminated something ahead on the road. Not an object, an absence. The light didn't reflect back. It bent. I stopped the truck. The air pressure dropped, so suddenly my ears rang. The forest beyond the road was gone. Not dark. Gone. A vast, depthless blackness where trees should have been. Something moved within it. Not shape. Not motion. A presence. The hum deepened. I felt cold on the inside of my chest. Behind my eyes. My thoughts slowed. I remember thinking, not hearing, do not move. Then the pressure lifted. The blackness collapsed into forest. The hum ceased. The truck's engine restarted on its own. When I reached HR 07, the station was intact, but the ground around it was fused. Glass-like, perfectly smooth. I don't remember leaving the site. I woke up in my driveway at sunrise. My boots were clean. My clothes smelled like metal. 3 people disappeared that month. Officially, none were connected. Unofficially, everyone knew. Federal vehicles arrived in Cedar Flat without markings. Men in unmarked uniforms spoke quietly with local officials. They collected hard drives, confiscated trail cameras, shut down the fire lookout permanently. They said it was a geological survey. They said it was wildfire prevention. They said nothing was wrong. HR 07 was removed. So was my contract. I began having gaps. Minutes. Hours. I would find dirt under my fingernails with no memory of digging. Once, I woke up standing in my kitchen, holding a glass of water, staring at the sink for an unknown amount of time. I couldn't remember why. At night, the hum returned. Faint. Distant. Always at 2:14. Cedar Flat is smaller now. Some houses are empty. The ridge remains off limits. Satellite images of the area are consistently blurred. I left in 2018. I still wake up when the pressure changes. Still smell metal where there shouldn't be any. Still lose time. Last week, my phone reset itself at 2:14 a.m. No explanation. No alerts. No memory of the hours before. Sometimes I wonder if what we saw was arriving, or if it had always been there, waiting for us to notice, waiting for us to listen, waiting for silence.